All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back to back update and information as City Hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news is dropping, you go be the first. We will collect them. Let's go down to the news proper. I see the hot, you don't share for the obodo. As the matter will be said, you drop for my table one by one. I go to bring them to you. I say salama to Umuchineke, salama to all of us of freedom all over the world. Everybody with the desire to see the liberation of Umuchineke. Of course, you and I know that it will surely come to pass. Yeah. As it be, the members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, don't drop update concerning the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ohamadike, one of Ndibo. The lead counsel of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Aloy Ejimako, has accused the Department of the State Service, DSS, of denying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's doctor access to him. Ejimako, who disclosed this on X platform, sadly said that Kanu was ill with shortness of breath, low BP, and general malaise. His words yesterday during our visitation with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we found him ill with shortness of breath, low BP, and general malaise. For these reasons, he requested to see his doctor and we submitted a letter in this regard. Today, the doctor arrived to the ESS but was denied access to MNK. As a background, the DSS is well aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is susceptible to potassium deficiency, which affects the function of the heart. This problem was diagnosed by DSS doctors some 3 years ago, and they confessed to their lack of expertise to treat the problem, which in all probability is the cause of MNK's current illness. This is no doubt very serious and deadly to boot. The readings of the electronic heart monitor supplied by the DSS have been recording low pressure level for nearly 9 days in a row without any medical intervention to ascertain whether the blood potassium level is within the clinical acceptable range. My people, when I don't see as it happen for this morning, first of all, you will ask yourself if the country called NIG has taken good care of the free man, the man that is not in detention. For example, if there is an emergency on the road, maybe a car accident or motorbike accident or a fire outbreak, is there any means that the government has been able to help in this aspect? And my answer is no. In NIG, the government have what is called fire service. Is there? They also have what is called ambulance, the FMCs, federal medical centers, and to my own knowledge, I believe that the federal medical centers are places. These are federal hospitals. They work for the federal. They work for the whole federation, and their work is to take care of the emergencies that may occur or could occur because ndị be anyị si na onwe onye si were mmiri ọkụ na ọ ga-adị enu. And that is why you see these emergency centers, federal medical centers, and the rest of them that were set up in all the states in Nigeria. Now, these hospitals are there. When you have things like emergency and you are rushed to the hospital, you find the hospital still telling you first to pay for your bills, pay for your drugs, pay for this and that before you will be attended to. This is your country. Oh. Same thing with fire service. Now, I want to ask you one question. If you, as a Nigeria, whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are Yoruba, will be true to yourself and tell me what has the government actually done for you? Should we start from your building that you worked hard to build by yourself? You worked for people who are civil servants You worked up to 20 years before you are able to just set up a bungalow? Or should we start with some of you who have retired and your gratuities have not been paid to you? And these gratuities, they are not government money. They are money that were deducted from your salary, from your sweat, from your whole work of 35 years before you retired from the government. These were money that was deducted from your account to save for you for the future purposes. Now, you're a retiree. I want to ask you a question. How many times have you received your pension? How many times have you received your pension as a government worker? Are there me? Now, let's go to other parts. So, let's go to the civil servants. Let me ask you, civil servants, fellow civil servants, how much are you earning in a month? Now, let's go to the loans, the World Bank loan, the this loan, the that loan that the government has borrowed, and the monies, the allocations, the yearly budget that the government budget, and they make these distributions to various governmental arms depending on their capacity and how their allocation for the year comes up. The question is, what has the government done with this money? I say far what? Foul. The citizens drill their borehole. The citizens build their house. The citizens pay their hospital bill. The citizens send their children to school with their own money. And in turn, you see these children coming back to work for the government. Is it not marginalizing your citizen and using the money of the government for the riches, for the rich ones, the elites? You see how the elites have covered and blindfolded the citizens that are in this nation. Even the citizens doesn't know their rights. Because if we want to start looking at what the government is doing for us, the government are the ones that are supposed to provide all the social amenities that their citizen needs. Things like house, things like hospitals, things like pipe-borne water, things like good road, and the rest of them. But in the country where you call your country, some of these things are not there. There is no pipe-borne water, there is no good road, there is no hospital, there is no a building that the government has built by themselves and say, okay, all our poor citizens, you can be paying social amount, you can be under mortgage. By the time you finish your mortgage, it could be 10 years, it could be 30 years. As long as your mortgage is done, this house belongs to you. There is no setting like that in this nation. But the nation we are talking about is an oil-producing nation, iron ore producing nation, limestone producing nation, gold producing nation. Name but a few. Just to name but a few. All the mineral resources that are being gotten in this nation. This is also a nation that is very fertile when it comes to agricultural proceeds. And you still see how the citizens are living. As it is with this current government, the prices of things have, if there is anything like seafood, prices of things are skyrocketed, and the citizens are not finding it funny. Pardon me. The citizens are not finding it funny. Now, meanwhile, let's go to another information as it be. The governor of Imo State, whether they call Hope Uzodinma, has said that nobody will protest from Southeast. Say that Southeast will fully support the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yeah, well, these are politicians. They are there to support their leaders. An APC person will not come out and tell you that the government is not doing well because the politicians are not feeling what the poor masses are feeling. They have food allocation, meat allocation, fuel allocation, hospital allocation, all kinds of different allocation, especially those ones that are covered by immunity. Now, the governor spoke in Abakaliki, capital of Ebonyi State, during the grand finale of All Progressive Congress APC campaign for local government elections. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has said people from the southeast will not join in the planned nationwide protest against President Bola Tinubu over the hardship and hunger in the country. Uzodinma claimed that the proponents of such protests are enemies of the country who wanted to destabilize the national government. The government spoke in Abakaliki, capital of Ebonyi State, during the grand finale of All Progressive Congress (APC) campaign for local government election. According to him, the people of the region have no reason to protest against the government of the day, stressing that the federal government and President Bola Tinubu are working hard to bring lasting solution to the economic challenges the people are facing. Uzodinma, who is the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, further appealed to the people to give the government more time to work and fix the challenges. He said to the youth of Southeast, because we are on the path of growth, our enemies are trying to disorganize national government. They will come to you, they want you to protest. Ask those who want you to protest, where are their children? Why must you be the one to protest and to protest against what? The government is our government. The government of President Bola Tinubu is our government, so nobody from Southeast will protest. We are not aggrieved, we have hope. Whatever they say, this government is barely 1 year in office. Yes, we are aware of the hardship. We are aware of things are hard, but I promise you that the president is working so hard to release money to the people, deliver infrastructure to the people, and to release and increase food security to the people. Follow your leaders, work with your leaders. Also speaking, the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje urged Nigerians to support the president in his bid to better the living standard of the people. I call on every Nigerian to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Vice President Kashim Shettima, and the federal government for their efforts, programs, and actions geared towards ensuring better standards of living for Nigerians. I believe and I am confident that very soon Nigerians will have reason to be smiling and acknowledging the prudence and effective result of their support for APC, Ganduje said. I hope you've had that whitewash from the governor of Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma. He has whitewashed everybody. Meanwhile, I'm not saying nobody should go for protest because the more you go for protest, the more these people becomes very hardened because that's the kind of government we are dealing with. They are hardened government that have decided not to care about the interest of the citizens. They don't want to know what becomes of the citizens, what the citizens are passing through, or what the citizens really want. Remember the time of fuel subsidy when the president came in and he removed fuel subsidy. And on my own, as someone living in that nation, as someone that comes from there, because of the amalgamation of Lord Lugard, I'm still asking, what has the government benefited the common man, the populace, their subjects? What has they benefited them? That's the question. I'm still asking myself, what has the government benefited the people? These individuals who are government mercenaries have siphoned the nation's wealth. They have looted the nation. Nation have nothing to stand on again. The prices of things are going very high. The president, the governors have lost control of the country's economy. They have lost control because when you become very greedy, what greediness does is to make you lose a total control. When you are taking more than that is coming into your nation. Imagine a businessman spending more than his capital or more than his income. That businessman is bound to fail. A country that does not have good infrastructure, that does not have factories, a country that produces oil, crude. And when this crude is gotten, it can be reduced to different standards. That's where you get the kero, that's where you get the agro, that's where you get the fuel and the rest of them. And this country for the past 60 years, 60 something years, after all the money have not been able to come up with a refinery of their own. If Nigeria is a good country, things like fuel, gas, and kerosene are supposed to be sold for like, you should be getting it for like 50. It should be the easiest thing one can afford in this nation. That should be the cheapest, because this is your home. This is where this thing is coming from. So I think it should be the cheapest. But the government have not been able to be truthful with the people. Let them keep getting ready, because very soon other nations are developing. A time will come when things like crude oil will become useless, and this government will have nothing to lean on. And by that time, they will open their eyes and see how they have back forward their nation. If they do not suffer it, their own children might suffer it, because as the day go by, things are developing. People are becoming wise. A technology is coming. And I know that the era of technology is going to flush out all these fake politicians. Meanwhile, this is where I've been winding down the curtain this morning. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you'll be the first who collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you. They say the FG is intentionally provoking IPOB by refusing to release its leader even when the court have ordered his unconditional release. The statement reads, the global family of the IPOB once again calls for the unconditional release of their leader from the DSS solitary confinement over his deteriorating health condition. The federal government is intentionally provoking IPOB by refusing to release the leader even when the Nigerian and international court have ordered his unconditional release. IPOB wishes to reiterate that the life of the leader Nnamdi Kanu is in danger in the solitary confinement of the DSS in Abuja. He said they have persistently called on the federal government to release the leader, as both international and local law institutions have ordered his release. Powerful said it is worrisome that even though prominent Nigerians, including religious and traditional rulers, as well as members of the National Assembly, have called for his release, and the federal government has refused to listen to the voice of reason by refusing to release Kanu, just like his notorious predecessor government of Buhari. Tinubu's government has discontinued similar cases of terrorism and treason charges against two Yoruba activists and a Fulani military leader. In the case of an Igbo man, unarmed freedom activist Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this same government has vehemently refused to release him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has subsisting local government and international judgment that ordered for his release, unlike the other cases discontinued by the federal government without any court judgment. We are enumerating all these injustices to demonstrate that the federal government of Nigeria is intentionally provoking the anger of the IPOB and Igbo. IPOB has maintained a non-violent approach in the Biafra struggle, irrespective of the high-handedness of the Nigerian government against the Biafra activists. Kanu is seriously sick and must be released unconditionally from DSS solitary confinement for him to treat himself before something unpredictable and unimaginable happens to him. The statement reads, the group called on President Bola Tinubu to free Kanu so that he can go and treat himself before it's too late, adding that IPOB members have been persecuted for over a decade by Nigerians because of Biafra self-determination. Kanu has been in the custody of the Department of State Service since his extradition from Kenya to Nigeria in 2021. Kanu has been detained in solitary confinement for over 3 years. Although no court in Nigeria has found him guilty yet, he is being persecuted by the tribe-by-God government of Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu, please note that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is sick and something terrible can happen to him if he is not released. Nothing must happen to him in the DSS solitary confinement in Abuja, as John F. Kennedy said. Those who make peaceful change impossible will make a violent change inevitable, the group added. My people now don't hear us. That's one they happen. This one is coming from the IPOB, and the person who signed that letter. Now the man what they call him a powerful. Now in carry hand put for that letter. They sign him. As they sign him, him a powerful talk say say their leader Mazi Okechukwu Okuchukwu Kano Ohamadike, one of Ndibo, has been sick for so much a long time, and the government of the Biafrans the government of the NIG have refused to pay attention to what the plea of the people, the plea of the masses, and they torchlighted some cases, both to two Yorubas and one Fulani man. These people were people who also answered cases of terrorism, but government, through their own means, political ways, released these people. But now, it has become the turn of an Igbo man, and you see these people playing hanky panky, because if I call it a tribalistic nation, or if I call it ethnicity, but meanwhile, as it be, uh, something don't happen, as they said PDP governors state position on new minimum wage, and another thing will happen again be say 16 people don't buy as fire a golf shopping center. Make I tell you where that shopping center dey. As e dey be, 16 people don't buy for China after a fire incident at a shopping center. Report had it Thursday morning that the incident occurred at the shopping mall on Wednesday in the southwestern China city of Zhejiang. Firefighters got to the fire shortly after 6 p.m. at the 14-story commercial building, pulling 17 people to safety, official news agency Rinjua reported. It has not been determined by press time what caused the fire or how many people were in the building when the fire broke out in the building, which houses a department store, offices, restaurants, and a movie theater. Videos have shown clouds of thick black smoke coming out of windows from lower level and engulfs the entire 14-story building as firefighters fought hard using water sprays and drones. China had, by May this year, reported 947 fire fatalities, up 19% from same period of the previous year, said Liao Feng, a spokesperson for the National Fire and Rescue Administration, who added that the fires in public places such as hotels and restaurants rose to 40%. Most of the incidents resulted from electrical faults, the official said. This one is happening in China direct, where fire engulfed a building, a 20-something story building. I say African man Ntoge. 14-story building. These are buildings that you hardly see in this empire. Even in the greatest Abuja of them, you hardly see this kind of skyscrapers there. Even though you see some, but it's just few steps away. Meanwhile, get as e be where e never be before. The PDP party have stated their stance on the new minimum wage. Remember that the FG, the Labour, the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, have been calling for new minimum wage. Of course, you know that NLC is a kind of pressure group that all these labor forces are under their union, and they have pressed demanded for their people that the minimum wage needs to be increased. Remember that the former minimum wage is 35,000 naira, and of course, if you're a hotel worker and all those people, some of them collect 25, and the rest of them, but Nigerian minimum wage is 35,000 naira, even both for civil servants, and the labor is calling for 400 and something. Meanwhile, the House of Senate said that the money they are calling for is too much. And all these things are happening because the economy has lost track. The politicians have lost the track of the economy. They could not be able to trace the economy anymore because when your politicians are what is called Ndi Ololioko, people who are just there for themselves. They are there for my people. One governor like that came to Imo State. He was telling Imo State people, my people, my people. Imo State people will say, my people, my governor, my governor. My people, my people, my governor, my governor. But they did not know that literally or invariably what the governor was saying that the money of Imo State is for him and his people. Oh, that's my people and my people. My people and my people. Now the same governor wey build road for Imo State, immediately the man comot, all the road spoil. By that time, he don acquire a lot of land. This wetin they call am, him generated wetin they call what is called Akbolage. Akbolage. The governor started molding a lot of people. I don't want to start calling them. If you know the name, people, the name of the governor, he even molded Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, molded Zuma of South Africa, molded Ojukwu, even molded Nnamdi Azikiwe. There's a lot of people the governor molded. Even they even sang for him, Akbolage, something like that. But as it be, the PDP Governors Forum, they say this is the part of resolution reached at the meeting of the PDP Governors Forum, which took place in Enugu on Wednesday. In a communique read by the chairman of the forum and governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, the governors maintained the minimum wage negotiations are becoming unduly protracted in the face of the attendant unprecedented hardship and the provisement of majority of our people. The forum resolves as follows: that labor demand for a substantial salary raise in eminently justified and therefore commands the total support of the forum. While the forum fully supports labor demand, agreement must take into consideration the ability to pay by the local government, subnational and federal government. While negotiations are ongoing, we appeal for restraint in both utterances and actions that could lead to the complete breakdown of law and order and ultimately the collapse of the economy. The Labour Party, the PDP party members, and then they talk this one. But of course, all those things now long, big English. Let them come openly and say, look at what we are giving as minimum wage. Meanwhile, if the economy were to be good, this minimum wage issue should not be what the people will even be dragging, because the more this minimum wage is increased, the more inflation. Even though these governors and these senators, House of Assembly members, their salary, their allowances, you find out that everything that is coming into this nation, that's about half of it or more than half of it goes to this pocket of these politicians. It's only the remainings. That's why you see NEPA breakdown. That's why you see school strike. That's why you see a lot of things, see economic breakdown and the rest of them, when the government have refused to invest, when the government have refused to be true to themselves, when the government have refused to use the resources that their nation is generating to build that same nation in order to be able to develop the nation. When the government, whatever they think of is how to squander the nation's money, the nation's revenue, any revenue that is coming in. You see some of these big head leaders squandering it, pocketing it for themselves, for their families. See them living extravagant life. Now they have called for local government autonomy, and of course, if allocations start going to the local government now, you see them again. Even before now, that local government has become do or die affair, because they know that there are a lot of revenues and monies there. Apart from allocations that are coming from the federal government, there are other businesses under the ground that have been done under there. A lot of things within the locality happens. Meanwhile, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you'll be the first to collect. And thank you for listening. God bless you.